All right, today we're going to journey to a world that completely flips our ideas about life, death, and society right on their head. Imagine a place, a paradise really, where the absolute worst thing that can happen to you is being sent back here to live a life just like ours. Let's dive into this place, the thousand-year realm.
So let's start with the big question. What if death isn't the end? What if it's just a commute? The text we're exploring describes it as a surprisingly quick trip. It takes just 16 minutes. Yeah, you heard that right. And the method of travel? Something called negative universe speed. I mean, right away, that tells you we are way beyond our normal understanding of things. So what's this journey to a new life actually feel like? Well, you can forget everything you might imagine about death being dark or scary. In this world, the transition isn't an end. It's described as this beautiful, almost magical process of being reborn. And it happens in 4 distinct stages. First, you just get this incredible feeling of floating, totally weightless. Then, whoosh, you're speeding through this tunnel of colored light. You catch a glimpse of a rainbow bridge way off in the distance, and then you just sort of drift off. And when you awaken, there's no judgment, no final test. You just wake up in the arms of an immortal, with beautiful music playing and a whole celebration happening just for you. Okay, so you've arrived. Welcome. But what is this new world actually like? Let me tell you, it's fundamentally different from Earth in every conceivable way, right down to the light in the sky.
What's really fascinating here is that this new realm is defined more by what it lacks. Get this, there's no sun. That means no shadows, no harsh light, and no night. Just a constant, gentle glow coming from distant stars. Oh, and there are no predators, no reptiles. It's like a world that's had all of its sharp, dangerous edges completely smoothed away. In this slow, gentle environment affects the pace of everything. I mean, a single leaf takes 3 years to fully form. If you want a peach, you've got to wait a decade for it to ripen. This incredible, deliberate slowness is exactly why it's called the thousand-year realm, because its people live, on average, for a full millennium.
So, when you have an environment that's this gentle and slow, what kind of society does it create? Well, as you're about to see, it's a society that is almost unimaginable from where we stand.
First of all, the population is incredibly small. We're talking fewer than 200 million people on a planet that's 10 times the size of Earth. That vastness, that low density, is absolutely key to how their entire society functions.
Because there's so much abundance that things we build our whole lives around just don't exist. Can you picture it? A world with no nations, no money, and no class system. Food is just there for the taking, so labor becomes this communal thing focused on simple crafts and building what's needed. There's just no drive to accumulate stuff.
Okay, so if you don't have money, property, or competition for resources, what kind of laws do you even need, right? Well, turns out their entire legal system is built on just one core idea. That breaks down into 2 very simple rules.
And this is it. This single principle, which you can see right here, is the foundation for their entire way of life. It translates to no possessiveness and no waste. That's it. That's the whole shebang.
And they apply this law to everything, equally. Trying to possess another person, that's a crime. But you know what's also a crime? Throwing away a half-eaten piece of fruit. In their worldview, jealousy and being wasteful are 2 sides of the very same coin. It's the same fundamental mistake.
So, as you can probably guess, this philosophy of non-possessiveness completely changes the most intimate parts of life. Love, sex, family, all the structures we just take for granted are totally reimagined.
And this is maybe the most radical departure from our world. Intimacy isn't based on continuous paired relationships. Instead, it's connected to a natural biological cycle in women that occurs just 3 or 4 times a year. And when it does, it's treated as this joyful communal event, completely free from jealousy, ownership, or any kind of shame.
This means there's no such thing as marriage and no nuclear families like we know them. The entire society is basically one large communal family. Women typically have only 1 or 2 children in their entire thousand-year lives, and raising them is a shared responsibility for everyone. It completely separates the idea of partnership from the act of parenting.
So the big question, what happens if someone actually breaks that one fundamental law? In a world without prisons, police, or violence, what's the consequence for being possessive or wasteful? The punishment isn't pain, or exile or anything we might think of as conventional justice. The consequence for violating the core value of this entire utopia is something much more philosophical.
And here it is. This one idea reveals their entire worldview. The ultimate punishment, the absolute worst fate they can imagine for anyone, is to be reborn into our world, to be sent back here, to Earth, to live as one of us, in a world they see as defined by struggle, competition, and suffering.
And that's really the final thought I want to leave you with. If this utopia's idea of hell is our everyday reality, what does that say about the world we've built for ourselves? What can we learn about our own lives from the values of the thousand-year realm?